Good evening, everyone. My name is Melissa Ospina, and welcome to our eighth and last encounter of biological experience weekly sections. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I hope we we can have an excellent time and moment in order to improve our language skills and also in order to uh, get get prepared for the IELTS speaking exam. Maybe not the official, but part of your final exam is focused on this kind of activities for exams. So that's basically what we are gonna start working. But before, I would like to listen how has been your experience during this weekly encounter. So I would like to start with Daniela.
Yeah, teacher. I listened and I watched the video about
Uh,
IELTS. Yeah.
Listen, that was not the question. The question was like, how has been your experience during these weekly encounters? Like, can you share us
Uh,
how you?
for the classes.
Yes.
Okay, my experience for is um was very for me interesting, and I practice with the teacher Melissa and partners. I'm very congratulate. Yeah, and so I'm very so I only it words for greetings. Yeah, because
Okay.
I
Well,
learned I
nice
learned
to listen.
I learned so much, and my nervous is in this moment is a lot. Is a lot. No, it's a lot. Is 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 it a little is better? No, is more.
Es menos.
Yeah, is less.
Sí. Less. Excellent.
Less. Okay. And
Okay.
okay.
It's really nice to listen that. That makes me feel so good. I'm so happy with you for you. Well, thank you, Ellie. I would like to listen to you. I know that, well, this is just your second class with me, but what if you have something to say about the last experience today is okay.
Okay, I think it's interesting have this opportunity in this session to practice a little bit of the speaking part. And I don't know my mates, but in my practice experience too, as I told you before, and lately I have been many tests about the speaking part, so it is important for me have this time or these spaces. And I'm really sorry that I've been late for do that and to share with you. This is my two or my second encounter and the last one. But thank you for your time and thank you for take your time to prepare this class and try to teach something important for us.
Okay, thank you, Ellie, for you to share how was your experience with the last class. And well, I would like also to share with you since the beginning because your English level is really interesting too. Well, thank you for coming today too. George, how are you? How's everything? I'm sorry, I cannot listen to you very well. You sound really so far. Better. Yes, better. I'm fine, thanks God. What about you?
I'm fine, thank you. And well, what are you talking about? And I mean, sharing the
Um,
experience.
yes, like you need to say. Well, I was asking the girls like to share their experience during the weekly encounter, how they felt and all those things.
Well, and I mean, these encounters, encounters, they were really good because, and well, we have to improve our in speaking skills. And well, you know that in this time was entertaining because you know the situation we are now, and well, we need to do something extra. So for example, every Friday I was a little bit bored because well the situation, and you can find you sometimes cannot find what to do, and well these classes helped me a lot, and I learned a little bit about the practicing for a Cambridge test. In this case, I think it was IELTS. Yeah,
Yes.
and I learned about that.
Okay, thank you, George. It was a pleasure for me to work with you too. So now that you're talking about IELTS, I think that is a good moment to start with our with today's classes. And just let me know if you watch the video before you come here. Like,
Okay, me?
Danny, you watch it? Yes.
Yeah. In
George,
this
you
time,
watch the video?
yes.
George, did you watch the video?
No, I forgot. It's good.
Okay, don't worry. What about Ellie?
Yes, I watched the video.
Okay, so I would like to start with some questions and for you, in order to you give us a really quick summary, and then we continue with the practice part. That is the most interesting for me because it's the moment where you speak, when we share each one of us. So I would like to start with Daniela. And Daniela, just let me know. You know, the video is divided again as the last one in two parts. First of all, like a role play or an example of how the part three could be, and the second part is the man giving us advices or tips in order to get a high score on this type of test. But you are in charge of explaining us by a really quick summary what happened in the example. I mean, in the role play, when you see the examiner and the candidate, what kind of things you learn from that moment?
Okay, when I watch the video, I look that a examinator, the woman, I look so very for me, for me, I look very nervous, and the examiner acts with her about the celebrates and even important events and celebrate in life, yeah. And the examiner take some points about listen carefully, take time to think. For example, so okay, also linking
Okay,
words. I don't know. By time, yeah, by
by
time
time. Yes,
for
the
for
right way to say it. By
yeah,
time.
for being the answer and organize your ideas in your mind. And finally, I think that the candidate, the speaker is Welby. No, Welby back. No sé, I mean, pensé que le había ido mal, I mean, no sé. But finally, the candidate is that good? The examiner said is really good because she speak slow, but express your ideas good, and it's
Very
excellent.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Donnie. You give us a really good summary while you were describing like what the person and the candidate and the examiner were doing there. And I would like to ask some specific questions to Ellie. Ellie, what's the first thing a person who face the part three needs to do? What's the first thing they need to do in their part three?
I think that for me is listen carefully and pay attention
Perfect.
to the questions.
Okay, that was everything I was looking for you to say. The main important thing is that you listen carefully. So I'm not gonna ask Mr. George because I know that you didn't watch the video, but I would like to explain and then you give us like I don't know your opinion about everything that I explained about the part three. Okay, George. So as my friend Ellie says, the first important thing you have to do when you face the part three of this class, of this exam, sorry, is that you need to listen carefully what the examiner is asking you about. Then, as Danny says, it's necessary that you take time to think. Most of the time we are like, well, I don't know, maybe it's about that you feel nervous or maybe you are so excited to be there and then maybe you think that if you do everything fast, it's gonna be better. But the thing is that if you are gonna do it fast but nobody understands you, then you're gonna have a low score. So it's necessary that you think that you listen carefully, but also take time to think about what they are asking you. And after that, you will be able to give a complete answer to the person who is in charge of the interview. So in this part, it's good to buy time. As Daniela says, there is something called like buy time, and it's just that. Uh, well, this is for. I mean, this word is used to describe the way you use phrases like "that's an interesting question," or "let me think about it." Okay, so when you use that phrases, you are like winning time, and you are able to think a little bit more and organize better your ideas. So in this part three, buy time is really important in order to provide the examiner the complete answer he or she is expecting from you. Answers that respond to who, to how, to where, to when, and to why reasons, like complete sentences. It's also important that you take into account that they are looking for you a huge range of vocabulary and grammar. What does it mean? Like if you are talking about schools, um, it's not going to be relevant that you start talking about the way people get dressed. I mean, you have to find words that refers, pedagogical words that refers to schools and the way people works and learn there. So it's also necessary to take into account the grammar. It's not the same when you just go in a flat tense, like you always speak in present simple. It's gonna sound better and interesting for the interview if maybe you start speaking in simple present and then you stop and go to simple past in order to refer a moment or an example of a thing that happened before, and then you go back. It's like you you give a long way of what you want to say, and that's better and interesting if you do it into the correct way, because it's not like you start talking in present and then you go in past in the future, but don't do it in the right way. Logical reasons are really important and necessary to give in this moment, and also to show yourself excited about what they are asking you for. For example, if they ask you or pretend you to ask about a topic that you don't like too much, I mean, it's not necessary that you let her or him to know that I don't like, or that your face or your body movement don't show it. Okay, so you need to always show yourself like you are happy, well, not happy, but that you are really interested and excited about what you are talking. That's what we saw with the girl, like she said, like, wow, that's an interesting question. I want to talk to you about my best experience or the most important events for me. For me was when I got married, and you see that the face of the girl was always like, wow, I'm connecting the words that I'm saying with my face and the things that I'm doing. Okay, so I think, let me know if everything is clear. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and I would like George give us personal tips in order to achieve the high scores in this part three, based on what I explained before.
Okay, so and according to that test, in a for example, personal opinion, I got 33, so I mean I'm fine. Well, especially in part three, that and I was with a group of partners. So I mean the base. For example, I think that my partner was Ellie. Ellie was one of my partners, and well, I saw many people that they were really nervous in that exam. So so the most excellent tip is about not being nervous. So because in a speaking in a yeah in a speaking test, you get nervous and then you cannot speak English very well, so you cannot organize the ideas. And for example, yeah, because you can win uh, a writing test, but in a moment of speaking, you are nervous and then your brain lags. In that moment, you end up speaking in your mother language. So in this case is Spanish. So and the tip is to study not only connectors, and for example to study collocations, to study idioms in English, um, and many other functions in the English language. So not to say the same words. For example, I like go to the beach. So you can say, for example, I enjoy going to the beach. I really like, or well, yeah, some expressions like that. I think.
Okay, perfect, John. So based on these girls and boys, we are gonna go to the practice time where each one of you will have 5 minutes in order to answer a couple of questions. But remember that me as the examiner now expect from you to give me complete answers and to connect the right ideas in order to provide a complete answer as I told you before. But it's necessary that all of you pay attention to your partners um, like ideas and what they are doing, because you will be the ones in charge of give the feedback to each one of them, based not on the way you see the language, based on the advices that I told you before that is necessary to take into account in the part three of the IELTS. Got it? Okay, so let's start with George. George, I'm gonna do the. You have, sorry, you will have 5 minutes, and I will do questions for you. And at the end, one of the girls will give you the feedback based on what you say and what uh, the rubric of part three. Got it? So 5 minutes. Let me find here the time in order to let you. What? Uh, well, George, your time starts now. Okay, let's move on to part three of the IELTS speaking exam, George, and I will like you to answer a couple of questions I'm gonna do to you based on the topic that we start on the part number two. Are you ready?
So excuse me, but the topic is about.
No, I didn't say it. I just want to know like if you are ready to start. Yes or no?
Oh, okay, yeah, I am ready.
Okay. Ellie, help us with the microphone off, please, in order to George to can listen better. Okay. George, I would like you to describe a newspaper or magazine you enjoy reading. I would like you to know which specific magazine or newspaper you read?
Okay, so in this case, I don't read any magazine, but I try to look in information on in any website. For example, and I don't like anything about entertaining. So well, and I like them, but I don't read them really much. So and I always try to look for different information. For example, and about science topic. For example, now it's interesting to look for some information talking about the COVID-19. So and I think well and excuse me teacher and according magazines I don't know very much about that topic. Excuse me.
Well, but we need to continue with this topic because it's the one assigned for you. But I want to do another question. I will, well, let's suppose that you read a lot of magazines and newspaper. So in that case, uh, where would be your favorite part to read it? Like, where would be your favorite place to read magazine? In order, but we are supposing like that you do it.
Well, in a specific place, and I mean it is good to read in a silent place. So when you
Okay.
find silence, you can read and understand better. So for example, in a library. So when you go to a library, so there is silence. So you can understand each word. You can understand the sentences, and well, you can think better. For example, a good place is, for example, uh, well, some people go to a mountain to read, but well, it is not necessary to go to a mountain. But I really recommend a library. So, for example, each city has a library. So I really recommend to listen there because, for example, if you go to a shopping mall, so you won't read really well because you are being distracted by the noise of people. So, for example, the same in a beach. Some people read in a beach in a beach, but well, and I don't know what is that because I haven't read in a beach. So I always go to the National Library in my city. So
Perfect. That sounds really good. So you were talking before that well, you don't specifically read about magazines, but you also likes to find like information, interesting information about what's happening around the world. Where you mentioned something about the coronavirus and all those things. So based on that, what do you consider is the function of a report to the society? What's the function?
okay, so talking and about general, and I mean, there are not good topics and about this one. So, for example, conspiracies, they are not a good topic because people, well, and express their ideas, and people say that you are crazy when you are talking about conspiracies and some topics. For example, religion. So it is not good, and politics. They are not good topics to research because you will only find lies, and well, that's all.
Okay, perfect. Your time is over. Thank you, George, for your time. Now, I would like to, Ellie, uh, please give a feedback to George based on what he said, but not from your point of view specific, but also about the part three advices and tips you need to take into account.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, for George, I have to say that about the question, I think that if the examiner gives you a question, you should try to keep creative and give the response, not try to change the question because I think it's what it's about, the task or the test. I watch the video that's what it's about, and what I mean is that they are going to give some tricky questions to make you think about it, and try to respond about it. I give a full response. So I think it's important, no matter the question, try to maybe think about it, try to give the answer to that first question. You can be creative. I think it's good to be honest. You say I don't read magazines, but maybe you can try to find some other ways to answer that. Um, Also, about the way you express, or I guess you can change your connectors because you use a lot so and for example, so maybe you can try to use another kind of connectors, and I think it's important also give some details about what in the second question, you have the question that favorite place or a special place to read. Maybe you can use that to give more details in the answer, and that will, I don't know, give you more time to the answer. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Ellie. And let's continue with you. Now, you are going to be the person uh, that is going to have the interview with me. And then any of your friends will give you the feedback. So, guys, pay close attention based on the tips Ellie needs to follow. Okay, in a second. Okay, Ellie, let's move on the part three of the IELTS speaking exam. And I would like to ask you some specific questions about the topic that we were talking on the um, part two. So let's talk about um, what is the give me a second. I lose it. Okay, let's talk about special occasions in life, right? I would like you to describe a special occasion in your life based on where did it take place. Maybe.
Okay. Okay, I think that as an unusual question, and let me think about it. Okay, I have to tell that on a special event, on a special occasion for me, uh, was a couple months ago in January exactly. Um, it was my father's birthday. It was 60 birthday for him. And it was on a special occasion because uh, he lives in Ibagué. I live in Bogota, and many of his family lives in other cities, some like Pereira and Armenia. So it was an important occasion. So I made a party for celebrate his birthday in Ibagué. He lives in a farm. Ibagué is a small town, but he lives probably 20 minutes ago from the downtown. He lives in a big house. So that was from help because we with my boyfriend and my family we could stay there and spend the whole weekend with him. My brother lives in Spain, in Barcelona, Spain. So this was a sad occasion too, because was the very first time that he can't join us for this occasion. And for now, for the coronavirus virus is also sad because he's supposed to be here in Colombia with us in this moment, but he has to cancel his travel. And we made in Ibagué, in that farm, we did special activities. We create some videos for my father. We cook a special meat with our family relatives, and now I think about it. After all, and after these actually days with the coronavirus, it was the last maybe further for my father. I think it was a really special moment for him. Thank you.
Well, that's no for you. Well, that sounds really good and interesting. Well, I was about to ask you about that you could like you can explain me your feelings that you already explained how you felt in that moment. So, moving a little bit, but in the same topic, I would like to ask you, like, if you consider that to have a camera or a video play in this kind of a special occasion is important.
Yes, as I told you before, it was a special occasion for our family because it was our uncle that I don't know spent like 20 years away from the family. So in this occasion, this uncle went to Ibagué to enjoy to the family, and it was a surprise for my daughter, for my father. So we record a couple of videos and send of the rest of the family who that can be in that moment. And I believe that it's important to try to record these special moments because you never know when it's going to be the last one.
Okay, that's right. So, and this is the last question for you, and it's a little bit general. But how do the Colombia's families celebrate happy moments? What do you know about that?
How Colombia celebrate happy moments?
Yes, Colombian families.
Okay, I don't know. I think it depends about the family. Some family are loud, like mine. So when we celebrate, we always have musicians. We always have alcoholic drinks. We always stay up at night or probably maybe in the morning, 5 4 in the morning, dancing, and I don't know. That's how my family likes to celebrate, and eating a lot. But maybe in other types of Colombian families, they like to have a minimal meaningful space, like just talking and eating, or and I don't know, be like a little more quiet. But in general, I think in Colombia we are a population that likes to dance and celebrate and drink a lot. I don't know. That's how the the people around the world know the Colombian people. So that's my opinion.
Well, thank you. Your time is almost over. And thank you, Ellie, for your time. Now, I would like to listen what's the feedback George has for you. George, are you there? George. Well, I think George is not here. So, Danny, can you give? Do you have any feedback for Ellie?
Yeah, a feedback teacher.
Yes.
Okay, Ellie. My opinion about your answer is that you are an excellent range. No, you have an excellent range of vocabulary and grammar for speak and try to explain about the celebration of Colombia and celebration or situation about you and talk about that special occasion. Yeah, yeah, it's the first question.
Yes.
And so she complete that complete in order that her ideas and I mean and that is good. And she used several verbs fenced and answer specifically that the
Specific.
tutor asking her. She understands the question. She uses a lot of connectors and linking words, and I think is correct. Is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Danny. Yes, Ellie, you did a great job. Just to take into account a thing that for me is really good, but for this type of exam, maybe they take into account and it's the use of the time. You take at least 7 minutes and you had just five. Okay.
Oh my God.
So for me, it's good because well, I love when you speak, and I also let you because we are just three. Well, now we are three students, but then you don't know if the examiners needs to finish on time because he has a plenty of interview before. Sorry, after. So just for take on, you need to take on mind the management of the time. That's it, the
Okay.
control of the time. But the rest of the thing was perfect. Now
Okay.
let's
Thank
go
you.
with Danny. Danny, it's your turn in order to answer the questions, and the both of your friends are going to be concentrated in order to give the feedback or recommendations for you. So, are you ready, Danny?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let's start your time now. Well, Daniela, let's move into the part three of the IELTS speaking exam. As you know, my name is Melissa Ospina, and I would like to ask you a specific question about a topic, and you will share with me your ideas and try to control your time, and also I mean the answers that you give becomes complete. So first of all, I would like you to describe your favorite animal. What kind of animal is it?
Mm, okay, teacher. Describe my kind of animal. Yeah. Okay. I have a little a puppy. Yes. His name is Chato. Chato is a puppy. Is a dog. The kind of say the kind of phrase I don't know is a book. Okay, is very friendly. I don't know. The animals, the subject is very good, is very friendly and is very so sleepy all the time. And Chato is when I was tired or bored or I feel no good, Chato is myself. Um,
Okay. Okay, that's good. So, can you give us the reason of why do you like this animal? I think it's the dogs.
Sorry, teacher.
Why do you? Now, I would like you to give me the reason for you to like this animal, the dog.
Okay. I like have my dog. My dog is a present for my boyfriend. The boyfriend gives me a dog because in this time, in the other time of my life, I'm very I am only person. Yeah, I start all the time in my laptop and take a tax. Then Chato is my how do you say compañía in English? The mirror is my mirror.
Like yes, like your mate, your partner.
My partner. And then when I cried in some moment of my life because I am suffer that anxiety and depression, Chato stayed with me all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds really deep about why this kind of animal are important for you. So taking into account that it's so important to you this animal. What do you need to take care of it? What kind of things you need to take care of the dog?
Mm, um, for care of my dog.
Hmm.
Okay, so our chato needs a very cared, so many very cares because chato source. I know chato was very sick when he was a puppy, baby, it's a puppy,
Puppy. Yes.
uh, because this kind of dog suffer that in her skin, and I had so many many treatments. I don't know say tratamientos. Treatments no. For him, and I don't know. I get sorry. Yeah, I got I got more or less the at the bed for for train this skilled about heat about hint. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay, Danny, your time is over, so we need to stop here. They have like 6 minutes talking. And thank you for your time. Now, I would like to George. George, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Please give your feedback for Daniela's interview.
Well, and according to Daniela's interview, is for example, to improve more and about vocabulary because well, in some parts, she had to ask in Spanish how to say that word, but in any word, and yeah, that's the only thing, and I can say that improving vocabulary.
Okay, thank you, George. That's so real. And Danny, the reason why I don't answer you when you ask during the interview is because the person there is not gonna translate for you. So for that reason, as George says, it's important that you acquire a huge range of vocabulary. My recommendation is to keep working on organize your ideas. Sometimes you got the idea, I know that you have it on your mind, but you get lost in the process to share it with the other ones. But your fluence is really good, and also something that I want to congratulate you for is that you sound really excited about the topic that you are developing. So good job, Danny, and thank you so much. Well, guys, this was today's activity and the last one. I want to thank you for you to be on time and to try your best and for your great attitude. So that's everything. And don't forget to do your last model quiz that is until tomorrow, and keep in contact with all the information the director sends to you because you are about to finish your tax 5 and also your final exam. But you actually today finished your tax 7 with the A encounter you had with me. Thank you, all of you.